Oh, Houston. Oh, Houston. The Warriors came out to play.
Warriors, come out to play!
And they had more than a problem. Okay, I'm sorry. That was cringy, but something just so liberating and, freeing about owning these Houston Rockets, man, for the last decade or so. It's just wonderful. It's just really wonderful. Sorry to the fans of the Rockets. Nah. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm done. Let's talk about the game. The Warriors came in ready to snatch some chains and tattoos. Shout out Kendrick. And from the start, man, it felt like the Warriors just. I don't know if the Rockets look scared, really, but the Warriors were locked in, obviously, as you expected them to be when essentially this game was an elimination game for Houston. And for us, it would essentially solidify our spot in the play-in tournament. And the energy they've been playing over the win streak that they've had throughout these last 5 games, you expected the Warriors to show up. But it was a question how, if it would be enough and how well would the Rockets play, obviously, because they've been really great offensively, especially Jalen Green, and that defense has been good all year. But tonight, they look like they did not have a chance, man. Klay loves playing in Houston, got off to a great start, and he was then making some haymakers, man, and some incredible shots, which, of course, you can expect from Klay every night. But in Houston, after a couple of, not sure if off nights, but after not having, like, explosive games for quite some time, you could expect Klay to show up in Houston, and he did show up and show out. And the Rockets' communication, the switches tonight wasn't as sharp as as it normally is, or as I thought it'd be, where, they let Klay get a lot of good looks, essentially, with how they played him, until it was a little too late. And then Klay also made some really good plays and passes when, they finally did face guard him more, and they did throw different looks at him and better looks at him. So it was a great game for Klay, great game for Steph, who started off the game great offensively. After I was a little worried about his energy early on, but he hit a three-pointer, got to the rim a little bit easily, and started off the game really well with his energy. And those were all obviously great signs you were going to have a great night in Houston. And the effort defensively continues to be just great. And with Trace in there, we obviously have more of a roaming Draymond, and we have a rim presence, rim protector in there. That obviously changes the defense a lot. And, the switching has been better. They've been communicating better since they called each other out, I would say. Yes, there are some miscommunications, but they do switch and I would say execute their defensive plans better. The contesting of 3-point shots in the quarter and overall just contesting shots has been more fundamental and effortful and just better. While these last couple of games, whether it was against Luka and Kyrie throwing some timely double teams, tonight against Jalen Green, I felt like they really disrupted his rhythm early on in this game with some really good double teams, whether it was for Draymond or even Trace, I'm pretty sure, but mostly Draymond, who, executed double teams on Jalen Green really well, and he had some bad turnovers. We were able to run, fast at the Rockets from it, and we overall played just at a really good pace against them. We were able to run havoc against them, which obviously leads from our defense and their inability to make shots also. And Houston was just out there for lunch, man. It looked like they just weren't ready for the moment, honestly. Let's keep it a buck. It looked like they weren't ready for the moment. Ime Udoka said it himself that a lot of players look soft out there. And I agree, man. It just felt like the Warriors had this game in the bag from the first 5 minutes, honestly, with the energy that both teams were showing. And I obviously knew there were going to be runs from the Rockets because that's the modern day NBA, and we obviously turned the ball over a lot. And voila, we turned the ball over like crazy in the first half. We had 13 turnovers in the first half, and we still were in a very comfortable lead. And after a timeout to end the second quarter, we essentially ended their hopes, headed into the halftime with 15-point lead. And Klay came out to halftime hot. Trace had a sensational second half. He had 20 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and those assists, man. Like, Trace can really pass the ball so well. And at the end of the day, this kind of felt like Game 6 of the finals. I know not in that magnitude, but in terms of, the runs that the Rockets had. Like, have you ever, throughout the game, did you feel like we were going to lose it or, like threatened? I know with this team, it's way easier to do than with the 2022 team, but something so calming about this game, honestly, and just freeing and great. Maybe it's because we played the Rockets also. But at the end of the day, we just own the Houston Rockets. That's, no other way to put it. Steph and Klay love torturing the city of Houston. And this game was over at halftime, to me, honestly. Like, I know, Cam Whitmore had some really good plays. I really liked how Jabari Smith came around. Jock Landale played really well. Jeff Green thought at least showed heart. Maybe even Aaron Holiday. But, like, it never felt threatening. And Steph got going. He got foul calls. Trace was sensational in the second half where they were able to use the Rockets defense against them, get Trace easy baskets around the rim from their switching and from their, size, which they don't also have really, even with Jock Landale out there. But obviously with Jock Landale out there, it's more size. And we continue to shoot lights out, while the Rockets were taking tough shots and they weren't shooting well because of some of it was our defense, some of it was also that their players weren't maybe, mentally ready to play, honestly. It really felt like it. And once Moody had that tip dunk, the game kind of felt over. Then Draymond got, to attack mode, had some layups. Steph had some, layups and free throws in the fourth. And the game was over. Garbage time, 4 minutes left. And just a great performance from them. No Kuminga still, who's out still tonight. And he should play against Dallas. But it will be interesting to see if he comes off the bench, which I think he should. You just can't disrupt the rhythm, honestly. And let him get GP 2 minutes, honestly. Like, GP2's been better, but he's not been like this defensive monster throughout these last couple of, games. So let him get his 14 and some of Pod's minutes, maybe some of Draymond's minutes if Draymond, is tired. Some of Chris Paul and Moses' minutes. But keep Moses Moody in the rotation, please. He continues to show, improvements and just shooting the ball lights out, playing good defense, rebounding the ball well, hustling, just like Podziemski. So Steve Kerr has kind of a problem with that because Kuminga obviously needs to play also because he's been awesome. And don't forget that he also played really well in that Miami game. I'm pretty sure it was the Miami game, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the Miami game where this winning streak started. So interested to see that. And when we look at the standings, we are now, or the Warriors are now 1.5 game backs behind the Lakers, and we still play the Lakers. The Kings are also falling very much down. They lost tonight against, who was it? Against the Mavs, I'm pretty sure, and they play Boston tomorrow. So the Kings can really fall down to the 10th spot here if we keep it a buck. The question is, can the Warriors get to that 8th spot? With the Pelicans also falling down with their injuries and play. Could we get into that 7-8 range and avoid having to play, win 2 playing games? It's not about playing 2 playing games, but winning 2 playing games. Obviously, we'll probably have to do that. Most likely, that's the most likely outcome. But that is a chance, and that is a world where we could get into that 8th spot. If, we capitalize on our schedule. But tomorrow we play against the Mavericks. Okay. Can this work? Oh, yes. It's the Mavs, the Utah Jazz, the Lakers, Portland, Pelicans, and Utah. So I would say those are all winnable games, right? You don't expect them to end this year on a, what would it be? 12-game win streak, but could they win 5 of these 6 games, they probably should, honestly. Like, if we keep it a buck, the Dallas game is the most losable one, right? But Dallas also played tonight, and we beat them just a few days ago. So it will be interesting. It will be interesting. I'm hopeful. I don't expect them to go 6-0, but I think they'll end this season well. At worst, I expect 4-2, but I hope it's 5-1 or 6-0. And we'll see what happens with the Lakers, with the Kings, and the Pelicans. But we can, this game against the Pelicans could very well be for that 8th spot, honestly, if we keep it a buck. And they destroyed us the last time. Holy Jesus. Holy Jesus. I remember this game all now. Oh, pardon me. That was a nasty game, let's just put it that way. But when you look at the Pelicans and the Kings, just so we could have the standings talk, now they played actually the Knicks, my bad, y'all. They play in Boston, then in Brooklyn. They still have OKC, New Orleans, and Phoenix. Those are really tough matchups for the Kings. While you have Brooklyn and Portland, you expect them to beat Brooklyn and Portland, obviously, but who knows? Anything can happen, really. And the Pelicans play the Spurs, who have been playing better, while the Pelicans have not. They still have the Suns, the Kings, like I said, but one of those teams will have to win, which sucks for us. The Lakers and the Warriors. So that is a world where we could get into that 8th spot or 7th spot, really. Let's hope it is this. Let's hope it is this realm or this universe. Anyway, thank you all for listening to my rambles. Appreciate it. Fuck J. Cole, he sucks. And I'll catch you all on what is it? We play tomorrow, so I'll catch you all tomorrow with that Mavericks game. And as always, be kind to yourself and to others. Love yourself as much as possible.